Now, children, we begin with just re-looking again into what we started in development. Okay, so we talked about what is development, and when we talked about what is development means, we talked about, and very beautifully you told me in a very smaller and very precise words that it is change and growth, right? So according on that lines we discuss about the concept of development. What is basically development? Now when we talked about this, then I gave you certain names, and I told you that you are supposed to quote them also, otherwise the introduction remains incomplete. It does not have much of the value, and it will not fetch you any marks. So naturally, while introducing this, while talking about development, you have to you have to mention some great philosophers and thinkers. You have to quote them. Okay, so it is not necessary you have to take up this quotes only. You can take up any, you can do the reference work, and you can quote anybody. It is not necessary for you to stick up to this only. Okay, and then we headed towards the features. All right, and I made you clear what the features are. We had about 10 features. Okay, we had about 10 features, and we studied in detail about it, right? We studied in detail about it, and I made you understand each and every concept of it. And I asked you, if you have any doubt, you can open up, so that it becomes um, more clear, so that I can explain it again and again for you till you reach up to the understanding level, right? So this was it. So these were the 10 points. The Even they were this point, this were the 10 points. Okay, I hope everything was clear to you. Later, I talked to you about the models of development, right? We were talking about models of development. In that area, I took up the first model yesterday, which was called as the market society model, right? Market society model, which I explained to you, which means that it initiates, that is, of attributes of Western society. That is, it focuses on industrialization, it focuses on capitalism, it focuses on um, entrepreneurship, right? It focuses on business, it focuses on raising the standard of living of the people, right? When industrialization is there, when industrial based society is there, it believes in marketing, it believes in trade, right? I explained to you, and then we talked about how the development goes about, that is, the stages from traditional stage, how it passes to the transitional stage, how it goes to the takeoff stage, and ultimately it reaches the high level stage, right? And it becomes totally a developed country with a developed industrialized country, right? Developed industrialized country, because we in this modern era used to measure the development according to what kind of a society it is, right? Their lifestyle, their market. So we say that if it is highly industrialized country, means it's a developed country. That was the first model which we uh, analyzed, and we said that okay, industrialized means it is highly developed country. But they say, what, how did they criticize and sum up this model there? See the last line says that adoption of market society model may increase the material prosperity. No doubt, this market society model would increase the material is what? Luxury, and everybody will have better better things, right? They'll be living a life of comfort, they'll have all the amenities with them, right? They'll be living a luxurious life, they'll be living a very elite livelihood they'll be having. So everything would be there, but it says that it would weaken their moral strength, because it says that market model, this market society model, it emphasizes on acquiring more, getting more, having a luxurious life, right? So uh, a society which is based on profit, which is based of rising high, having a good lifestyle, right? So that kind of society, it says that that kind of society where it is calculated, where we mm, calculate the status of a society with the materialistic gain, that how much they have. So in that case, what happened, their GDP would increase, their per capita income would increase, everybody will have be leading a luxurious life, they'll have lot of money, lot of material, all the civic amenities, all the amenities would be there with them. But they say that such kind of society may loosen, the moral strength might loosen here. Okay, the moral strength, the moral values might go down. So that was the feeling of the market society model, right? So next we talk about the welfare state model. Now when we talk about this welfare state model, it said that this was first introduced by Bismarck in Germany, right? It wanted to make Germany more powerful, that is between 1871 and 1890, right? And Bismarck was opposed to socialism and liberalism, right? And so it advocated the reforms for the welfare of the workers, right? It wanted, they said that society can be developed when the least in the society, that is the labor class, right? The labor class, that is the peasants, the laborers, when they are taken care of, okay, when they are taken care of, when their standard rises, then only then only it says that the society can be said to be developed, when even the least is taken care of, right? And so what it said this basically this welfare state model, what does it says? It says that you have to first understand that this concept arose in England, right, as I told you, and it was brought about by as it rose in Germany. It was introduced by the German chancellor, and later in England, this idea of welfare state was brought up by Prime Minister Asquith, right? Asquith, between 1908 to 1916, right? So basically, it came in the form of welfare measure for workers by providing them sickness and unemployment benefits, right? It came in the very beginning, where these workers, as I told, when industrialization was you can say not yes, internationalization was there in full-fledged thing. We used to say what kind of society was arising during that time. The richer was going rich and the poor was going poorer, right? The poor were exploited, the industrial workers were exploited. It was not a welfare state, it was a laissez-faire economy where these you can say these capitalists were working for their own profits, right? For their own welfare, for their own profit. So there was no as such any strict rules and regulation or interference by the government, right? So here, first time, that is in 1906 1908, what happened, this prime minister brought about certain welfare schemes for these workers, right? These industrial workers, it brought about certain welfare schemes. And what were those? That is, the sickness allowances were given, and unemployment benefits were given. As I told you, that there were many workers, many people who had shifted from the villages, and they had come and settled into the towns, right? They ran away from the villages, loosening the feudalism. Remember, as I told you, the landlords, they were getting more powerful in the villages. There were this feudal lords who were extracting lot of money from the peasants, lot of by the burden of taxes. These people started leaving away, going away when the towns and the industries came up. So they left off their lands. Either they were bonded laborers or they were working. Yeah, they were working in the fields of the landlords, or they were under the huge debt. They had taken loans from the landlords, or they were not able to pay the taxes. There was a lot of load on these peasants, right? So these people, uh, either they escaped from these atrocities and all, and they ran away to the town, or they were lured by working in the industries, right? Whatever the reason might be, when the towns came up and industries came up, these villagers, they ran away and they joined the industries. They and you try to understand what was the condition of industries there. The labors were in abundance. The labors were in abundance. There was no job security, and as the machines were new, even people did not know how to use them safely. There was a lot of accidents, lot of health problems they arose there, and there were no health benefits as such by the industrialist or by the boss there, by the owner there. No. So there were people who were unemployed. It was giving rise to uh, what do you say, poverty, theft. They were, I mean, dirt, unhygienic conditions. The town were becoming bad day by day. The uh, human were you can human life was depreciating. The condition was deplorable. So here, during that time, all these benefits, I mean, keeping in view welfare state, that was called welfare state model. So welfare of the workers were taken into consideration, and then during this time, they were given certain reforms were carried out, right? Certain proposals for the reforms were carried out, like health benefits, family allowances, then insurance for workers, government action to maintain full employment, unemployment benefits, sickness and accidents benefit, right? Then old age and widow pension, then it was maternity benefit, etc. The acceptance of Beveridge report started the tide for a model welfare state. All right, there it started the model welfare state. And here you have to understand, the state provides various social services for its citizen. In welfare state, the state provides various social service for its citizens, and these include what? Social security, for its security benefit, right? It can be street lights, it can be bus services, it can be police services, it can be anything but security for its people. Okay, social security, sickness benefit, disability compensation, free education, public health, relief to poor, then supply and rationing of essential commodities to poor at subsidized rate, that is rationing system. Okay, then it is a method of redistribution of wealth to compensate the helpless of an open market model. Open market model always benefited the rich, always benefited the capital capitalist, right? So here it was seen that the capitalist was getting richer day by day in market model development. So to compensate that, when they came to know the lower class is not benefiting out of it, rather they are prey to it, right? Rather they are being prey to it. So there has to be a steps to take care of this. So there came this welfare state model. Okay, welfare state model came about, and then rationing system, giving food grains at a very lower price so that nobody should sleep hungry. Everybody should get 2 square meals a day. Unemployment allowances, certain schemes were brought about so that every the person who should every poor person, right, should benefit out of it. So all such kind of things were brought about, right? And the thing, I mean, the necessity things, essential items, essential things were commodities were given at a subsidized rates. It was given. Now also you people can talk about it to your parents who have ration cards. Everybody has a ration card. What is that ration card? Ration card is a public distribution system. According to this public distribution system, the government provides the ration, that is basic amenity, at a much cheaper rates as compared to the market rates, so that nobody should go hungry. Nobody should go, the hunger should not be there. Everybody can buy rice and dals and sugar and other things at a lowest or the least prices. Okay, that is called public distribution system. So gradually this idea of welfare state started spreading, all right, spreading to the other countries as well. And the countries who were industrially growing, they also felt that this is the thing they too were facing. The poor were getting poorer day by day. There were no benefit schemes for them. Nobody was taking care of them. So these welfare state model was adopted by many of the well grown, well industrialized countries. It spread out, right? So it took up this welfare state model to solve the problems of poverty in its own country. All right. In one hand, when the urbanization was increasing, on the other hand, the poor was also increasing. The poverty was also increasing. So to maintain a balance, this welfare state model was adopted by the developing country, right? Because they knew that if suppose they are not taking up of the taking care of this, if they are not taking care of their poor, if they're not taking care of their downtrodden, the slowly and steadily, like a termite, this their model, this market state model would definitely get weakened, right? The infrastructure will get weakened, and slowly and steadily the developing country would fall down, right? Would break. So it was necessary to take up this welfare state model. Clear? Clear? Then the third model is socialist model of development. Now, what is the socialist model of development? Now, the socialist state model of development is based on two broad streams. All right, two broad streams, and these two broad stream is one is revolutionary socialism, socialist model. Now we are talking about, right? Socialist, where society is given the priority, right? Socialism. So it says that revolutionary socialism. One is revolutionary socialism, the other one is evolutionary or democratic socialism, right? Now, what is this revolutionary socialism? Revolutionary socialism means, better, you have to understand there have been certain. Now, remember that Russian Revolution in 1917, we had Russian Revolution, right? Where Lenin, like we have Mahatma Gandhi in India, we have Lenin in Russia. Lenin was the leader of Bolshevik party who brought about lot of change in Russia. It overthrew 1917 a revolution, overthrew the monarchical regime. It brought about the proletarians. It brought about the labor. It gave the equal status for the. It worked for the equal status of the workers, right? So after industrialization, what was the condition of these workers and peasants? This revolution came about in that light. All right. And on the other hand, we know about Karl Marx and Engels who were working world over to change the status of the workers. So this Russian Revolution was also impressed by the teachings of Karl Marx and Mark Engels, right? It was they were impressed by them. So when this Russian Revolution came off, so entirely, The teachings of Karl Marx and Frederick Engels were adopted in Russia, right? It was adopted in Russia. Socialism, in the sense that socialism means that where the means of production would be in the hands of the workers. It will be in the hands of the state rather, where the workers don't have to work under somebody. It will be all the factories, the land, everything belong to the state. Nobody is its owner, right? Nobody will be able to exploit the other. So it will be a state owned industries. It will be state owned jobs. It will be the land too would be state owned. Nobody can own a land and boss over other or exploit others, right? So this thing of revolutionary socialism spread out everywhere, most of the European countries, where the workers rose their head, where the workers wanted demanded for the equality in their country, because there were this Karl Marx and Frederick Engels and all. They had they organized many international workers conferences. There were many international workers conferences where the workers from all over the world came and joined them, right? And they created this, they brought about this revolution in their own countries. Remember that you might have studied in your previous classes, that is in 10th standard or so, that is when this when there was world war going on, okay, when the second world war was going on. So the countries were at war with other countries, right? The countries were waging war on other countries, but they say that these these workers, I mean these workers were there in the conference, the workers from all over the world, right? The countries which were waging war against one another, the workers were attending the international labor conference. They were not interested in wars, they were not interested in demeaning the other country. So workers from all the countries were united under one roof in this international conference. And whereas the world war is going on, these people were taking a pledge under under Karl Marx and Frederick Engels, to bring about a change in their own country, to topple the government which was capitalist government, which favored the industrialists. So that was going on. Can you imagine the disparity there, the differences there? How there was, what was the gap between the rich and the poor in those countries? So these countries, they say that the system, slowly people started when, after when Russia backed out from the world war, it gave up world war and it signed a treaty with the other neighboring countries, and neither I will wage a war on you nor you would uh, indulge in warfare with me, because it was, world war was still going on. World war ended in 1918, whereas in 1917 Soviet Union backed out from the war. It gave up war totally, and it started reconstructing its economy on this welfare state model. That was revolutionary socialism. So socialism was brought about in that is Soviet Union. And just imagine that after 1918, when the World War ended, all the countries were totally perished. I mean, totally broken. But the country which was rising was USSR, but because it had long back started to create a welfare state and started rebuilding itself. So now what happened in other countries, because of this revolutionary socialism, when people saw a strong infrastructure, a strong USSR standing, and with a, I mean standing strongly, so these countries started slowly and steadily adopting socialism. All right, socialism giving equal status to the workers of their country and totally changing. In some cases they had adopted themselves, whereas in the other cases, when the workers, it was due to the upsurge of the workers and the peasants. There was revolution, there were uh, revolts all over, They wanted a change, and because of that the change came over. Okay, beta. So it is called revolutionary socialism. Next is called evolutionary, that is democratic socialism. So evolutionary or democratic socialism aims to seek the objective of socialism through democratic method. Now here, the countries who have adopted democracy, all right, here the country who have adopted democracy, it brings up the political right for every citizen. So that is under this socialist model of development. We are reading the second point, which says that democratic socialism means when the society is democratic, and through democratic method socialism is brought about in that countries. So where the prominence of civil liberty and political right of citizen is taken care of, right? Civil liberties means every workers, every civilians, every person gets equal rights, right? And here the equal rights, and here in our country we know politically everybody is equal in the eyes of law, and politically equal in the sense every person irrespective of caste, color, creed, status can vote, can participate in election, right? And the person chosen can rule the government, can rule the country. So that is called as democratic socialism. Okay, that is called democratic socialism. That much is clear to you? Okay, so if you have any doubt till here, please ask me, so that it is what. Okay, I can take up Gandhian also, beta, and then later on we can take the criticism of model in the next one. So Gandhian model, last one is your Gandhian model. Gandhian model Gandhian model is basically which tells about the moral values in politics, right? Moral values in politics. It talks about precedence to morality over politics, right? It's based on Gandhian's teaching. And what does he say? He says politics was an instrument of achieving moral goals. For him, it says through politics, we can achieve the moral goals. Gandhi never wanted India to imitate the domains of Western civilization. He believed that Western civilization promoted consumerism, which would lead to moral degeneration in India. Okay, did you understand? It says that we should not blindfoldedly follow the Western culture, because Western culture is industrialized, right? It focuses on industrialization. So when it focuses on industrialization, what happened? People fall for material gains, right? And it says that when people fall for material gains, automatically it degenerates the moral value. It degenerates the moral value. Okay, so morally people get degeneration. So he felt that for moral regeneration, he demanded self control and renunciation, and this could not be attained by fulfillment of material needs. You have to understand what Gandhiji felt like. So, Gandhiji therefore opposed any notion of development related to materialism. He was against. That's why he promoted khadi, he promoted handicraft, he promoted the businesses in the village level, right? He promoted that business, right? Cottage industries. He was in favor of developing the cottage industries, developing handloom, developing small scale industries, giving proper status to the workers or the villagers. He was not in the favor that they should not, they should come to the they should come to the towns and cities and be exploited by the um, industrialists, right? Be exploited by the industrialists. Okay, so that was it. Okay, then now, so Gandhiji believed that what was Gandhiji as a person? Gandhiji has as a person was with the people who were the who were at the least rung of the society, right? He was with the society. He felt that if lot of money is saturated at the higher level, if the lot of money is saturated at the higher level, so obviously what will happen? The society, there will be a gap between the rich and poor, right? The society will be degenerated. The society will fall down. The society will get weakened. The society will get. The society will get. The society will get weakened. Okay, so that was the basic thing. Okay, so you have to read this up. You have to read the ideas of Gandhi. All right, and you'll come to know that what basically Gandhi was. It was he was for he was for the uh, he was for the cottage industries. He was for promoting the small scale industries. He was for the handloom industry. He wanted the workers or the villages to grow beautifully. It was not that the villages should be shunned and it converted into towns. Or he did not support urbanization. He was in the belief even the rural areas can be beautified. The workers can have a very strong living strong, because he wanted to promote the moral character of the country. Okay, he wanted to promote the moral character of the country. And he wanted that there should be these workers should be prevented by the rich for the over exploitation, right? Over exploitation. And the people should be grounded. They should be connected with the soil. Okay, he that was the Gandhian model. So you can read this Gandhian model and you can make all four models there. Right, now after this they say that there are four models, right? But no model is complete. No model is complete. There are, if you, there is a sum up of all the mixture of all the models taken together can fetch a good model of development. No model is complete, right? So in your next period when we come today, beta, I think okay, you do you have any doubt or anything you want to ask from all these four models? Then I'll go off further from page number 315. Okay, the ending of 315 will go up later on in the next period. If you want to ask anything, you can ask from me. Do you wish to ask something? Do you feel that something you did not understand?
No,
Yes.
ma'am, it's clear.
Everything is clear to you? Good, beta. So you have